Hello and welcome to the Flourishing Center podcast. I'm Emiliya Zhivotovskaya, your host and founder of the Flourishing Center. We are training the change agents of the world and equipping them with research-based tools for healthy, happy, and successful living. And we're so grateful that you're here.
This is your Flourishing Friday, where every Friday we bring you a positive psychology-based life hack that will help you to thrive. We look at real-life application of positive psychology while giving you different strategies, tips, and steps to put the science into practice.
Thanks for listening, and let's dive in. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Flourishing Fridays. I'm excited to share today's concept with you. It's a word that I was recently exposed to called compersion. Now, compersion is a made-up word, and it's a word that started off in the polyamory community and has kind of made its way into colloquial wording, so much so that you could actually find a definition of it on Wikipedia. Wikipedia defines compersion as an empathetic state of happiness and joy experienced when another individual experiences happiness and joy. Like I said, this word started off in the polyamory community, and it was meant to be a word that described the state of happiness that a person might feel, seeing somebody that they care about, someone that they love, perhaps experiencing pleasure or happiness, perhaps being with another person or in anything that they would be doing. This word is in some ways the opposite of words such as jealousy and envy. In order to properly understand what compersion is, let's first take a look at what jealousy refers to and what envy refers to, because sometimes people use these words interchangeably, but they're not the same thing. Jealousy is something we experience when we fear that someone is going to take what you have. So for example, let's say your significant other is giving attention to someone else. It would be normal for you to experience jealousy if you fear that this other person is going to take their attention or their affection away from you. Envy is when you desire for something that someone else has. So you can experience envy if somebody were to get a job promotion when you really wanted that, or if somebody gets an opportunity that you have been longing for. We feel envy when we want what someone else has, whereas we feel jealous when we feel like we're going to be losing something that we have to someone else. Both of these things come from a scarcity mindset, and positive psychology gives us an opportunity to explore how do we shift these feelings of jealousy and envy perhaps into a more useful and positive state. I really enjoyed this article by Melanie Ginsberg, who spoke about this idea of compersion and offered some insight on how compersion can be translated way beyond just the polyamory community into a way that more of us can live in a place of happiness and well-being if we naturally and authentically experience compersion, a state of happiness that we authentically feel when someone else is experiencing something positive. Melanie points out that there are actually words for this in other languages. In Sanskrit, there's a word called mudita, and mudita refers to the pleasure that comes from delighting in other people's well-being, something that perhaps a person might experience looking at their child thriving, maybe performing in a dance recital, being at their best. A parent might experience quite a bit of mudita, which is not just a sense of pride, but also a sense of joy and delight, seeing their child being healthy and thriving. In Norwegian, there's a word called uni, and uni means to be happy on someone else's behalf. This is a state of happiness and positivity that we feel when someone is accomplishing something good, something that they're proud of, and we're feeling it along with them. However, in the English language, we don't have a word for such a thing. And I think that our attempts at authentically generating these feelings of positivity can be such a gift that we give to ourselves and a gift that we can give to others. I've been exploring the prerequisites for compersion, and I agree with Melanie when she says that a scarcity mindset is what keeps us from compersion, which means that an abundance mindset is something that can support our compersion. And I want to challenge that just one step further and say that we can go even beyond just an abundance mindset, and that a unity mindset can help us embody compersion to an even greater extent. So a scarcity mindset would make us feel jealous or envious when someone else is having something positive that we want. It can make us believe that there's just not enough to go around, and the negative emotions that we feel from these things are meant to either help us grieve if we feel like we're truly losing something. That's why we're feeling jealous, and it's meant to alert us that maybe we can go about things in a different way. Or if we're really feeling envious of something, that stress response, that negative emotion is meant to indicate to us that we want to see something be different. And it's supposed to inspire and empower us with that little bit of a stress response to want to pursue the things that we are not having in our life that we want more of. It's important to remember that negative emotions and positive emotions are meant to be signals and indicators to us to do something different. So if we hold an abundance mindset, it's a belief that there's plenty to go around and that someone else winning doesn't mean that I have to lose. Or that if I'm feeling envious of something, I can use that to inspire and empower me to start asking questions about how can I also create more of this in my life if this fire within me is showing me what I'm wanting and needing. And then I've been thinking about what would it be like if more people believed in a unity mindset. This is a concept that I use to refer to the possibility that we as living beings on this planet are all connected. This is a spiritual concept that has been present through many religious and spiritual traditions for millennia. This possibility that on a fundamental level, that there's an energy that pulsates in all human beings, and it's that same energy that is within us. And this spiritual concept is one that has really fueled so much of my practice in over the past few decades of my life, ever since I started to explore spirituality deeper. And it is the same type of principles that drive concepts such as do unto others as you would want done to you, love one another as thy neighbor, as thy brother, as thy sister. And I've been playing around with how when I hold this mindset that I am connected to all beings in some way, that when another person grows or experiences positive emotion, I too can feel what they're feeling. And what if they were me and I were them and we were just all one entity having trillions of different life experiences, but really there is something that connects us all. I've been thinking about how this simple shift in my mindset makes it so natural for me to hold a state of compersion, really being excited for people in the happiness that they experience, because I can literally let myself feel what they're feeling as though it's my own. This is something that I experienced pretty viscerally once when I came across this fantastic YouTube video of a young woman's wedding ceremony. At her wedding ceremony, her father gave a speech. And it was a speech where he was talking about how happy he was on this wedding day, that his daughter was marrying such an incredible man. And the father then went on to give what I would say was the most breathtaking 10-minute speech about who his daughter was at her core and what an incredible human being she is and what a joyful couple these two were coming together as. And as I was watching this, I was feeling two very different emotions at once. One was just a state of awe and joy for what I was witnessing. And two was this state of sadness and longing and envy, because I knew that one day, yes, I will meet my beloved and I'll fall in love and I will get married and I will have a wedding day as well. And I also knew that my sweet, dear, amazing Russian father, who is an incredible man, is not someone who's ever likely to give this level of a speech at my wedding day. My father's not very verbal in his affection, and as wonderful as he is in many ways, I don't ever truly feel like my father kind of knows and gets me as to who I am at my core, despite the fact that he loves me more than anyone in the world. And I know that. And so here I was having this like joy of watching this beautiful YouTube video. And then I'm feeling this sadness and this longing and this envy about how much I wanted to experience my father saying something like this at my wedding day. And then I'm feeling guilty as to why it is that I can't just be super happy for this wonderful woman. I don't even know her. It's a YouTube video on her wedding day. And in that moment, I reminded myself, well, she and I, on some cosmic level, are one. And as I reminded myself of this belief system, which again, I can't prove to you guys, the thing about belief systems is we don't know if a belief is right or wrong, true or false. The question about belief systems and stories that we tell ourselves is, does this belief help me show up in the world the way that I want to? Does it help me feel the way I want to feel? And does it help me do what I want to do? And in that moment, absolutely, this belief helped shift me. First thing I did was I was just really allowing myself to be with my sadness and to be with my envy and just breathe it in. I wasn't too quick to try to just change this around. But when I naturally, organically had this belief that I could rejoice for this woman and I could remind myself that, wait, she is me and I am her and there's something that connects all of us. And I went and rewatched this YouTube video as though I was her and allowed myself to just feel so much positive emotion pulsating through me and so much gratitude to my father for all the things that he said. And I just took that experience on as though it was my own and let myself feel positive emotion about it. And it truly was alchemical when it comes to shifting my emotions. And I want to throw this out there as a possibility for you to explore what role might a unity mindset, or at the very least, an abundance mindset, play in creating more happiness and more well-being in your life. As the author of this Medium.com article, Melanie Ginsberg, points out, wouldn't it be an amazing world if more people truly rejoiced in one another's successes? We know that positive psychology supports this. We actually have a term for it. We call it active constructive responding. Active constructive responding is a response style that when you share positive news with someone else, when they are responding actively and constructively, they are people who amplify your joy and your happiness. They get excited with you. They get happy for you. They ask you questions like, tell me more and what else? These types of people add so much to the quality of our life. And research shows that even just going out of your way to be an active constructive responder to others boosts our well-being. That means going out and actually asking the people that you care about, what are you celebrating? What's good? What are you savoring today? What are you proud of? What's making you smile? And looking for those small positive things, even if it's your friend saying, oh, I had my favorite cup of coffee this morning, or I had a really great call with a client. Asking them for those positive moments can help people remember that sharing good things and sharing positive news is not going to make them boastful, nor are they bragging, that it's actually a form of savoring and can actually connect us more to one another. So we can be active constructive responders and help ourselves experience this compersion, this empathetic state of happiness and joy that we experience when another person is experiencing happiness and joy. Or we can use it to transform those moments of envy or jealousy that we might feel. And the key is that we're not sugarcoating negative emotions. Remember, positive psychology is not about sweeping negative emotions under the rug, pretending they don't exist, or trying to move them along too quickly. Positive psychology is about helping us digest our life experiences, digest our emotions, which means that you need to be attuned to yourself, to when you are experiencing any of these emotions that come through you, and being able to ask yourself on a scale of 0 to 10, how strong is my jealousy? On a scale of 0 to 10, what is the extent to my envy? What is it like in my body? And then being able to breathe these emotions through you, explore them further. What do I believe I'm losing? What do I truly want that I don't have? And oftentimes when we acknowledge the message from the emotion, we can actually let the emotion go. We don't need to hold on to the emotion, and oftentimes it dissipates. And then we can add in some compersion. We can add in this positive emotion of sending the person blessings or wishing them well, allowing ourselves to imagine giving them the gift of positive emotion as a heartfelt intention. And if you want to take it a step further, it's not just something that you're giving as a gift to them or a gift to yourself to shift in this way. What if you were to actually believe that you and this other person are actually one, and that their expansion, their growing, their learning, their joy is truly allowed to be a gift of joyful expansion for you? And again, it's not a matter of whether or not any one belief system is true or not true, because we can't prove these things to be true or not true. The question is how does it feel in your heart? How does it feel in your body? And if any one way of seeing something helps you show up in the world in the way that you want to and doesn't cause any negative to your life, then I think it's an experience worth trying. So there you have it, friends, a new word that is making its way into the English language. I don't know how long it takes or how many people need to use a word before it becomes an official word that goes into the English dictionary. However, I believe that if we just all start experiencing it more and spreading the word about this concept of compersion, share this podcast with someone, send them to Melanie's article, the more we embody this experience, the more it's bound to stick. And also, I think the more we can come together to make the world a better place. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.
This episode is brought to you by the Positive Education Certification Program. We're calling all school teachers, grades K through 12, to learn how to teach skills for happiness, resilience, and academic tenacity to children. Empowered teachers build thriving students. Learn more about our comprehensive model at positiveeducator.org.
Thanks for listening. I hope you've enjoyed this podcast. I want to encourage you to tell us, what would you love to hear more about? Is there an area of positive psychology you would love to get some more information on in terms of the research? Give us a shout out at info@theflourishingcenter.com. Thank you so much for listening, and I wish you a wonderful, flourishing day.